Morning Miramar, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. right here, right now.
Good morning, Miramar. My name is Danielle Reales, Marketing Coordinator with the City of Miramar's Office of Marketing and Public Relations. Today is Tuesday, March 20th. Today we have a wonderful show planned for everyone today. First, we'll be joined by our Women's History Month Spotlight, Crystal Chanel. She is the MOC and owner of Press Release Marketing. After speaking with Crystal, we will be joined by Officer Nilka Smith with the City of Miramar's Code Compliance Office to hear more about Miramar's dog ordinances. Be sure to comment on our Facebook live stream or dial into our program at 1-877-2-MIRAMAR. That's 1-877-264-7262. We'll be taking all of your questions live and connecting with you there. The weather for today, Tuesday, March 20th, is bringing beautiful sunny skies. The high temperature today is 90 degrees and the low will be 68. We are inviting everyone to join Commissioner Yvette Colburn as she hosts a CPR certification and free firefighter orientation. The class will be held this Thursday, March 22nd, from 7 to 10 p.m. at St. Bartholomew Catholic Church, which is located at 8005 Miramar Parkway. There is a registration required for the CPR class, and that can be completed by calling Michael Thomas at 954-336-8223. Join us this Friday for game night and party on the plaza, taking place Friday, March 23rd from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Miramar Town Center Plaza. This event is featuring live music by the Mojo Scoundrels, dancing, a domino tournament, card games, retro video games, food trucks, and a cash bar. It is free to the public, but please be advised that the domino tournament entry is $5. Register today at partyandplaygamenight.eventbrite.com. And if you have any questions, you can call us at 954-602-3178. Join us this weekend as well. We have the City of Miramar's Summer Camp Kickoff and Annual Open House happening on Saturday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're inviting everyone and their families to come and see what the City of Miramar will be offering at this year's summer camps. There's going to be free food, beverages, as well as fun activities for children. You can register for summer camp between March 24th and April 7th, and you'll actually receive a $100 camp discount. You can register at a few of our parks and recreation facilities. We have Anson Sports Complex, our Sunset Lakes Community Center, Biscaya Park, or the Vernon E. Hargray Youth Enrichment Center. So wherever you are in the community, there is a place for you to register your children. If you have if you'd like more information on that, you can visit MiramarFL.gov. Do you live north of Miramar Parkway, south of Pembroke Road, in between University Drive and the Florida Turnpike? If so, Commissioner Darlene Riggs is inviting you to come out to a special community meeting at the Miramar United Methodist Church, located at 2507 Utopia Drive in Miramar. That's happening next Tuesday, March 27th at 7 p.m., and you'll receive updates from our Miramar Police Department, our code compliance officers, and the Parks and Recreation team regarding issues such as sidewalks, trees, and lights. There will be refreshments served, and you'll actually get a chance to win a Home Depot gift card. And this event is sponsored by Miramar Tropical Homes, so thank you to them. Also, on Tuesday, March 27th and Wednesday, March 28th, the City of Miramar Public Works and Utilities and Parks and Recreation departments are inviting all of our residents to a special informational meeting to address questions, concerns, or comments residents might have regarding city operations that include traffic control, water treatment, street and sidewalk maintenance, recycling, parks and recreation activities, and so much more. This forum will also provide our city staff an opportunity to share details about city programs and updates on our current and planned capital improvement projects. The first meeting will take place at the Sunset Lakes Community Center Ballroom, located at 2801 Southwest 186th Avenue, and that's happening Tuesday, March 27th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And then the second meeting will take place the very next day, Wednesday, March 28th, at the Miramar Multi-Service Complex Ballroom, located at 6700 Miramar Parkway from 6:30 to 8 p.m. We hope to see you there, and please note that the same information will be discussed at both meetings. So if you can only make one, we definitely encourage you to attend. And on March 29th, our brand new Fire Rescue Station 107 has their grand opening. That's located at 11811 Miramar Parkway. And this grand opening and open house will offer tours of our brand new station, and we'll also have firefighters on staff to provide information to the public about fire safety. If you are interested in this or you'd like more information, we do invite you to visit MiramarFL.gov. The Florida Grand Opera is hosting Florida Grand Opera Family Fun Day and a free behind-the-scenes experience with interactive musical activities and live family-friendly performances, hands-on displays that showcase the magic of behind the curtain, and exciting opportunities abound to give you a sneak peek at what it takes to perform, design, and create in the world of opera. This event is taking place on Sunday, April 8th, at 1 p.m. at the Miramar Cultural Center. Immediately following the festivities, the Miramar Cultural Center will feature Together We Are Miramar, our mini documentary about Miramar residents and businesses, their unique histories, diverse backgrounds, and varied heritage. Attend the premiere of this documentary screening the same day, Sunday, April 8th at 2:30 p.m. at our Miramar Cultural Center. And it'll be just a really fun day full of activities for the entire family. If you'd like more information on this free event, please visit MiramarCulturalCenter.org. Another exciting announcement from our Miramar Cultural Center: America's Got Talent, Sons of Serendip, is coming to Miramar, giving a nod to Stevie Wonder with his album Songs in the Key of Life. Sons of Serendip is honoring the legendary singer-songwriter with this exciting new show. Their soulful pop sound blends and beautiful vocals with guitar, piano, harp, and cello create musical moments that touch the heart and lift the spirit. Get your tickets today by visiting MiramarCulturalCenter.org and join us at the Miramar Cultural Center Arts Park for their performance on Friday, April 13th, 2018 at 8 p.m. Now we're asking everyone to save the date for Miramar's birthday. Miramar Day, we're inviting everyone to come out for our city's birthday with an international tour. This event is happening Saturday, May 19th from 5 to 10 p.m. at the Miramar AMP at Miramar Regional Park, 16801 Miramar Parkway. This event that we hold every year is actually going to feature a fun concert with so many different cultural festivities, a fun zone, an international marketplace, and so much more. Now, we're inviting you all to save the date for that. Now, we're going to dive right into our moment in women's history. Today's moment in women's history is highlighting Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher was the United Kingdom's first and so far only female prime minister. During her time in office, she reduced the influence of trade unions, privatized certain industries, scaled back public benefits, and changed the terms of political debate. Nicknamed the Iron Lady, she opposed Soviet communism and fought a war to maintain control of the Falkland Islands. She was also the longest-serving British Prime Minister of the 20th century. So we thank you, Margaret Thatcher, for paving the way for so many women today. Now, I'm so excited to reintroduce our first guest. We have here Crystal Chanel this morning. Good morning, Crystal. How are you?
Good morning, Danielle. Thank you for having me. I'm well.
I'm so glad to hear that you're doing well, and thank you so much for taking time out of your super busy schedule to come and just visit with us and chat with us and just really put another great spotlight on Women's History Month. So it's so exciting to have you here. So I don't want to give too much of your story away, but I'd like you to just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, kind of how you grew up, and just kind of the beginning of your life, and how that kind of leads to where you are today. So just go ahead and go.
So my name is Crystal Chanel, and today I own a marketing company by the name of Press Release Marketing. But I'm from Fort Lauderdale, actually Lauderhill, which for those of you who are familiar with South Florida, it's a very small town. And I grew up with just my brother and my sister and my mom, so a single parent household. But rest in peace to my father, he was absolutely amazing. And we were just a really close family, a small family. My mother believed highly in just education and really being true to your word. Whatever you said you were going to do, to actually go ahead and do it. My grandmother was a huge influence on us. She was really the matriarch of the family, really providing wisdom and just being a blessing all around. And she just really taught us to value life and to be confident. So, I'm just a local hometown girl. I went to Hollandale High School, graduated from FIU, so I'm a Panther. And, it's just amazing, honestly, to be here in this moment, because I never expected that. I worked in corporate America from the time I was 16 years old. I worked as a secretary, and I was excited to work as a secretary, like
Yeah.
super excited. I still to this day celebrate Administrative Assistants Day.
Absolutely.
Because those are the folks that really run businesses. And so I admire them. And so to be here in this moment is kind of surreal because I never ever dreamed of starting a business.
Definitely. So you mentioned your business, Press Release Marketing. Tell us a little bit about that, what you do, and kind of how you transitioned from corporate America to owning your own business.
Yeah, so Press Release Marketing is an event marketing company. So I use events to further the brand of other small businesses, influencers, anybody who has a product or a service. And I had an affinity towards events because of my mom. We always celebrated birthdays heavy. So I had an event every year. And I watched how that created something special within the community, how it brought people together, how it made people aware exactly of what was happening in my family, and really created something special. So my love for events just kind of fused into the way that I do marketing. And basically, I got started around the time, in 2013, I was laid off from my job of 7 years. And I was devastated. I hadn't planned. I didn't see it coming. I didn't have anything in savings. And unfortunately, it was the time in our country where a lot of people were being laid off. So we were all looking to get the same jobs. And so needless to say, I remained unemployed for a long time before I realized I've got to actually do something. And, you know, it was just clear as day that God was just pushing me into a certain direction as far as be your own boss, have your own business, use the skills that you have to create the funds so that you can live. And so with that being said, I just kind of started hosting events. So you alluded earlier to the MOC, and that's like my stage name. And eventually it turned into a brand ambassadorship. And then today it became like a digital marketing platform, event marketing platform, and basically doing whatever it takes to make sure that the client's brand has more awareness than it had before they met me.
Definitely. And I love the confidence you exude. And you mentioned that you do host many events and you're like the master of ceremonies for different organizations. How did you get into that? Did that kind of like, was that like come natural? Did you have to like train yourself really hard? Tell us about that journey.
That's such an amazing story because really I hung around and still to this day with amazing artists. A lot of my friends are musicians, they are poets, they are singers, they are painters, and I didn't have any of those skill sets. And so I remember being in elementary school saying to, I'm a latchkey kid as well, so saying to the after school provider, what can I do? Can I just introduce these people? And she said, I guess, whatever. And so I started to make it a thing. And so because of my mom, because of my grandmother, I put my all into that thing of introducing. And so years later, you know, friends would call me, we're having a New Year's Eve party, can you host it? We're having a baby shower, can you host it? And so that skill became handy when I found myself unemployed. And that's how I got started.
Definitely. And, you know, people maybe don't realize the importance that a host gives to an event because it really kind of dictates the flow and how it kind of goes. So that's amazing that you were able to take a story that some people might just be devastated and get depressed and stay home and just say, why me? Why is this happening to me? And you really said, you know what, I'm going to be resourceful and just go out there, put myself out there. And that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, hosting is my passion. I love marketing. I love social media management. I love all your blogs and everything else. But the hosting a part of it, it is amazing. It's an energy that you create and that you harness. And if you want that event or that moment to be excited, and then you bring that to the table and the guests feed off of you and they do that. If it's an event where you're paying tribute and you want people to honor the folks who came before us who made a way, you can create that energy in that space. If it's a sad time in our society, you know, and things are going kind of, you can still bring the joy and flip it into positivity as an MC. So it is an amazing, and I appreciate God for trusting me to be able to do that with people and to give them a good time.
Definitely. Now I want to talk a little bit with you about social media and how that influenced your career, and kind of a really great story that I want you to tell is how you celebrated International Women's Day this year with Facebook and their headquarters. So tell us a little bit about that.
Another amazing moment, and I have to say, I really have to take a moment to say thank you so much to yourself, Danielle, and Chancia for having me here.
Yes, thank you, Chancia.
Yeah, this is amazing because when you take the time to honor entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs, it means a lot. There's somebody right now that's looking, that's thinking about a business, and I believe we're all entrepreneurs at heart, whatever it is, they're looking and they're saying, I wonder if I could. And they're hearing my story going, I totally can. And with Facebook, it's still surreal because I just got back from San Francisco, which is where the headquarters are. I decided I didn't like the response that some of my clients were giving me, meaning there were certain directions that I really wanted to take their business, but they were afraid. There was I don't want to really say a lack of trust, but it's like, what if this doesn't happen for me? Right. And what I decided to do was the things that I was asking them to do, I did it for my own business. And so a lot of times you're a hairdresser, but you don't do your own hair. You're a makeup artist, but you don't do your own makeup. You're a shoemaker, but your shoes look a mess because you don't have the time. You think you don't. And so it was the same thing with my business. So the things that I was asking for PR movements and really putting together a great social media campaign and really being diligent about your email marketing, those things put me on the radar for Facebook. And one day out of the blue, I get an email from Facebook, and it was pretty intensive. I realized this is probably real. Many times I wanted to say this is not real, but
you get scared, like, is this a scam?
What's
is
happening
Facebook
here?
Emailing me?
Right. And, I simply responded, call me. And Chris from Facebook calls me. And we did some things here in Fort Lauderdale where I sat on a small business panel just talking to business owners about how to use social media to expand the brand, but they liked the story. So they ended up flying me to San Francisco to meet with their COO, Sheryl Sandberg. Wow. And it was 6 of us total, I believe. We had lunch with her on International Women's History Day. And it was fabulous to hear the stories from women all over the world and what they were doing and how they were using social media for social good and social impact. And I was the only entrepreneur in the room. And so that was amazing. I was the only African-American woman in the room. And so that was amazing. And so, again, it was the opportunity to be the example of the sky is the limit for anybody.
Yeah.
Right?
And, it's so amazing because, I think people have a tendency to maybe undervalue themselves or not give themselves the credit that they deserve. And you hear amazing stories like this and how just things happen and how you use opportunities that you were given and maybe what one would consider like a struggle that you were given and turned it into something so positive, and you were able to just really get this amazing opportunity with Facebook. That's amazing.
It's funny you would say that, though, because that's exactly what Sheryl said. She was like, a lot of times men, they can have half the qualifications and they will put in their application, they will be right where they need to be, whereas women, we wait until we are super qualified to even apply. Yeah. So you find that that's true. A lot of times we don't step into where we need to be.
Yeah. So we actually have a caller.
Oh.
Yes, because we do get live calls. So I'm going to take this call. Good morning. You're live on Good Morning Miramar. Hold on. Give me 1 second because I'm not hearing you. So I'm going to put you on the speaker. Okay, hello?
Hey, good morning, Miramar.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Who do we have on the line?
This is Patrick Jackson. I'm calling on behalf of the lovely MOC, Mrs. Crystal Chanel. Is she in the house there?
I am in the house, Patrick. Good morning. It's so awesome to hear your voice.
Awesome. I am so proud of you, and I just want to let Miramar and surrounding communities to know how amazing, how gifted, how talented, how precious, how sweet, and how amazing of an eagle you are. Continue to soar. We're so proud of you and all that you continue to do, not just for yourself, but humanity, the community, and you change lives every place and space that you go. You rock.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. You're going to make me cry this morning. I was doing well.
There's so much makeup that the ladies have to wear. But thank you so much. I love that. Like a real moment where friends and support you. That's great.
Yeah, it matters. And I have to tell you, along the way, because a lot of times we get into this bubble where we feel like we got to do things ourselves and do things by ourselves. I think it's important to know you'll never create anything significant by yourself.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to honor the folks in your life. You know, I honor Miramar this morning because I grew up in Miramar. You know, my sister and my brother both went to Miramar High, but I went to Hollandale. And, you know, I honor my friends and I honor my family. My mom is in the studio. Sabrina's in the studio. And these are the people that kind of stand with me and they push me and we push each other. And that part is so important.
It's so important. Now, before we wrap up, and Patrick, did you want to say anything else before we wrap up?
Good morning. On my end, it was a little bit muzzled, but I don't want to take up any more time. I think you all heard my shout out. I'm going to get off of the line and just listen the best I can. Good morning, Miramar. Thank you all for an opportunity. Rock on, Crystal. Rock on. Keep rocking.
Thank you so much. Have a good morning.
That's sweet.
That was very nice. Now, before we wrap up, just one more question. If you could just, in a few words, tell us, you know, what Women's History Month means to you and what you would say to women out there who are looking to be entrepreneurs, be self-starters, and really make a difference in their communities.
I think Women's History Month is vital, and it's an opportunity for us to reflect on the women who've done it. We have women who are making strides in science in NASA. When we look at movies like Hidden Figures and we see what those ladies were able to do with math, when we look at the First Lady Michelle Obama, how she took a position that was just like a wife position and really made it almost bigger than the president's position. I think it's an opportunity when we see what women are capable of to look at ourselves and say, hey, what am I called to be? Be confident about it. Even when you're scared, even when you're afraid, do it anyway. Feel the butterflies, know it's natural, and just be great. You owe it to yourself, your community, and your creator.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Crystal, for being here this morning. And thank you to all of you for tuning into this portion of Good Morning Miramar. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we return, we're going to give you some updated information from our code compliance team about some dog ordinance updates here in Miramar. So stay tuned.
It's time to party and play on the Plaza at Miramar Town Center Plaza. Friday, March 23rd from 7 till 11 p.m. There will be dancing and live music by the Mojo Scoundrels. A dominoes tournament with prizes. Card games like spades, bid whist and talk, as well as retro video games. Space is limited. To register, please visit Party and Play at GameNight.eventbrite, spelled BRITE.com. There will be food and drinks for sale. That's Friday, March 23rd from 7 till 11 p.m. at Miramar Town Center Plaza.
America's Got Talent favorite Sons of Serendip comes to Miramar. April 13th at 8 p.m., experience Sons of Serendip. For tickets, call 954-602-4500.
Good morning, Miramar, and welcome back. We are live in our studio with Officer Nilka Smith. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. Now, Officer Smith, I'd just like you briefly to tell us a little bit about yourself and your role with the City of Miramar's Code Compliance Office.
Well, I've been employed with the City of Miramar since 2004, and I came over to the Code Compliance Division in 2012. And if my math serves me correctly, I'm ready to retire.
Congratulations.
Working with the Code Compliance Division is a very rewarding job. You get to help the residents make changes to their properties that they normally wouldn't do on their own. You can give them inexpensive ideas on how to improve the exterior aesthetics of their property and how to keep it up without incurring an expense.
Okay, definitely. And that's just really important service with our Miramar Police Department that we offer to our residents. Now, I know that there are some updates to our dog ordinances here in Miramar, and a lot of our lovely Miramar residents are some of the beautiful furry friends that we have.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what those are.
Well, currently in place we have the Leash Your Dog ordinance, and a lot of people don't know that when they are out walking their dog in the morning or in the evening after they get in from work, they are supposed to have their dogs on a leash, no matter how small, how cute, how furry, how well behaved, or even how big. They are supposed to have their dogs on a leash at all times. And we would like to prefer the walker of the dog to be someone who can maintain control of the dog. You know, having little Timmy go out, and he's only 7, walking a American Bulldog, he might end up down the street on his knees because the dog decides he wants to chase something. You know, so having someone that can maintain control of the dog is best.
Is important, yes. So dog on leash, because I know there's a lot of people, and I've seen it too, like, you know, where the dog is, like you said, well behaved and it kind of walks next to you.
Correct.
And really doesn't make a nuisance, but it's for the safety of
the public.
The public,
yes,
really.
It is.
For that. And anything else that we can update our residents on?
Also, there is a clean up after your pet law.
Yes.
I say that nicely. Again, people walk their dogs early in the morning, late in the evenings, and sometimes they don't clean up after their dog. And you as a homeowner, or even if you're a renter, you decide to walk out to curbside mailbox and Fido has left a present for you. That is not being neighborly.
Yes, no,
so
it's not.
There is an ordinance in place, and if you are found to not have cleaned up after your dog when he has used the bathroom, you can be cited for that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, as well as the leash ordinance.
The leash ordinance.
You can be cited for walking a dog without a leash.
Okay, and we definitely just want to provide this information to our residents because, you know, knowledge is power and
education is key.
Exactly, and if we don't know that these are in place, we can't say, well, I didn't know that was a rule.
Exactly.
That doesn't really fly sometimes. So I'm glad that we're definitely sharing this information. What else is out there that we need to make sure we share?
Also, you know, due to the recent storm, Hurricane Irma, that we had more specifically, a lot of people sustained damage to their fences. And normally they would let the dog out in the backyard, run around, roam around, and do what he needs to do. There may be a little small opening or break in the fence that the dog can escape out, and everyone is not dog friendly. You know, your dog may be familiar with you or your neighbors, but if I'm walking down the street and I'm a little, taken back by the sight of a dog and he wants to play, I might feel that my safety is compromised. So, just make sure that when you decide to let your dog out in the backyard, to make sure that there are no escape routes, that the dog can't get out and cause any harm to anyone, because we don't want that. We want our residents to stay safe.
Yeah. So what would you say, for people who maybe are experiencing, maybe they have a neighbor who's not being very neighborly and is violating some of these ordinances, what would you say to them?
They can always contact Code Compliance, and they can remain anonymous if they choose to. Our direct contact number is 602-3174, or they can even email us if they have access to the internet and they have an email address. They can email us at codeadmin@MiramarPD.org.
Okay, that's really important.
Yes.
To share, because I know I've had instances, and I love dogs, where like I'm outside and like dogs run up to me and I'm like, where's your owner?
With his little tail wagging, and he doesn't belong to anybody.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's important to
Yes.
share.
Also, if there is a loose dog that is sighted, meaning someone sees the dog running loose up and down the street and doesn't know where it came from, you can contact us at that same number that I mentioned earlier, and we will try to try to find who the owner of the dog is. And if we're not successful, Animal Control will be notified, and we will try to attempt to catch the dog, although we're not dog catchers.
Yeah.
We don't have the manpower, the staff, nor the facility to house animals or dogs. But if the dog is able to be caught or contained, Animal Control will respond and remove the dog and take it to their facility for further holding. Yes.
Okay, so that's really important. So, if you have a pet or you're a neighbor without pets, but there's maybe some violations to this ordinance, this is definitely some information for you to keep in mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us, Code Compliance as a division. We appreciate it.
Yes, and we appreciate you for all that you do for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Officer
welcome.
Smith. And thank you all for tuning in to Good Morning Miramar. Remember that you can tune in live on all of our social media pages every Tuesday and Thursday to this show. And if you have any questions, please keep up with us at City of Miramar on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Wishing you all a great day, and remember, it's right here in Miramar.